So Bill Barr is revisiting his past, revisiting his time with the Trump administration. And in fact, he went on television to talk about some of those things, which I wouldn't have advised him to do. But he's trying to get his name back out there and trying to rehab his image. So first he talked with Lester Holt, and they were talking about his undermining of the Mueller report. If you don't remember, it's when the Mueller report came out, and he gave this very quick, summarized 1 to 3 pages worth of basically saying Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong, and he got some pushback. Now he's got to answer for it. Let's watch.
Not true. What it was a tantrum by the people who were hoping that Mueller would be able to bring down Trump.
Wait a minute, Mueller himself wrote you a letter complaining. He said the summary didn't capture the substance of his report and that there was now public confusion.
No, he didn't say the substance of his report.
Actually, he did. Mueller wrote Barr's letter did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance of this office's work and conclusions. It wasn't just Mueller. Later, the 4-page letter came up in court cases seeking the unredacted Mueller report. One judge said Barr distorted the findings and questioned whether Barr was trying to create a one-sided narrative.
A second judge says it was disingenuous, there was a lack of candor. So the complaints are piling up that this 4-page summary didn't really capture the essence or the heart of what was in the report. Do you reject those?
I totally reject it. This was not a summary of the report. It was a description of his bottom line conclusions. If people are waiting outside of the courthouse and want to know what the verdict is, you don't go out and give them a 16-page summary of the trial. You say guilty or not guilty. That's what I did.
There was more of a Bill Barr soft defense of Trump this entire time, but really fast, because I pointed this out. As soon as I heard Lester Holt jump in with that report and go, "That's not what happened," I forget the exact term. I could hear David Schuster's voice, because Schuster does those types of things. Like he'll interview someone, talk through it, and be like, "There's the facts," right in the middle of their ridiculous answer.
I just wish I had Lester Holt's pipes, because it's pretty powerful when he does it. Look, the fact of the matter is Bill Barr is a sleazy person and politician. He tried to have it both ways when he was Attorney General. He tried to please Donald Trump by watering down and taking out of context the Mueller report. Now he's trying to have it both ways by saying, oh, well, Donald Trump was wrong by encouraging January 6th, but Donald Trump wasn't criminally wrong. I mean, Bill Barr is all about trying to protect Bill Barr and keep himself somehow in some middle ground where everybody still likes him. And the fact of the matter is, everybody hates the guy. He just doesn't realize that.
Well, maybe he'll figure it out. He'll watch this and find out then. But you mentioned the whole thing about how he's still soft on things like January 6th and all the things that he did. Let's look at this first headline also from NBC that talked about that. Former AG Barr says he wouldn't have prosecuted Trump for January 6th or taking classified documents. Just because, I guess. I'm not sure what else is to that. But when also talking about the January 6th issue, Barr also told Lester Holt, I do not think he was responsible in the broad sense of that word, in that it appears that part of the plan was to send this group up to the Hill. I think the whole idea was to intimidate Congress. And I think that was wrong, really. But he added, he hasn't seen evidence that Trump committed any actual crime. I haven't seen anything to say he was legally responsible for it in terms of incitement. Maybe you should write this another 3 or 4 pages on a summary. But even after all this, even after Donald Trump didn't have anything to do with it, he shouldn't be held criminally responsible for what happened with January 6th when he sent his foot soldiers to go and attack and intimidate Congress, as Barr just said. Regardless of that, Donald Trump still isn't very happy with what Barr is saying, because there's some nuggets of truth here and there. Let's look at this part of the statement from Donald Trump. And he's writing to dear Mr. Lester instead of Mr. Holt. This is an exact response to that interview where Bill Barr was all over Donald Trump and helping him out. Anyways, Bill Barr cares more about being accepted by the corrupt Washington media and elite than serving the American people. He was slow, lethargic, and I realized very early on that he never had what it takes to make a great attorney general, so why'd you keep him? When the radical left Democrats threatened to hold him in contempt and even worse, to impeach him, he became virtually worthless to law and order and election integrity. They broke him just like a trainer breaks a horse. He likes to compare people to animals a lot, and he thinks that's like the best insult, and they're gonna come back all mad. Come on,
look,
bro.
And again, I agree with part of what Donald Trump says there, and that is Donald Trump hates Bill Barr for good reason. Everybody should hate Bill Barr for all sorts of good reasons, because Bill Barr simply cannot speak the unvarnished truth. And the unvarnished truth is, had it not been for Donald Trump saying the election was stolen and saying repeatedly the election was stolen. There would have been no January 6th had Donald Trump not spoken there and said, let's go to the Capitol. I don't think most of the people would have gone there. Donald Trump is directly responsible for all those misguided knuckleheads and violent insurrectionists going up to the Capitol. And maybe Bill Barr thinks that because of the technical laws of the Department of Justice, he wouldn't have prosecuted. Well, you know what? He shouldn't say that. He should just say, yeah, we should have a grand jury and let them decide.
100%. Now, cherry on top. We got to go on this break, but cherry on top because I want to see this part. Let's go to the E3, you guys, because even though Bill Barr is still talking all this and it's back and forth and it's soft and then he's back to being tough on him again. He was asked about whether or not he would support him in 2024 if Trump does run because he said he would like another nominee. What's his answer to whether or not if Trump is in? Watch this.
You say in your book it's time for the party to move on from Trump. Liz Cheney has said he is not fit to serve and should not be ever near the Oval Office again. Do you agree with that?
Well, I certainly have made it clear I don't think he should be our nominee, and I'm going to, support somebody else for the nomination.
But if he is the nominee and you have your choice is Donald Trump or whoever's running on the Democratic side, would you vote for him?
Because I believe that the greatest threat to the country is the progressive agenda being pushed by the Democratic Party. It's inconceivable to me that I wouldn't vote for the Republican nominee.
So
yes, is what you're saying. Maybe Donald Trump released another statement about how much of a piece of garbage Bill Barr is, so Bill Barr can say, yeah, I love him too.
I mean, he just has no principles whatsoever, and that is actually the greatest threat. Is when you have Republicans like Bill Barr who don't stand for anything except their own self-promotion. That's the great threat that all of us face.
And by the way, whenever there's those lib presidential candidates that always get the Democratic nomination, you're worried about making sure they don't get in. Don't worry, the Democratic Party makes sure that they don't get in plenty for you.